Insurance Agency, Gilbert's Carpets Plus Color Tile,
Barrington Firearms and Training Center,
DW2 Drywall, and Michigan Landscape and Excavate.
There's a man named Pat Curry, he's got a passion for the news. Brings the stories of Big Rapids and across the county to you. Tune in and turn it up, let's have some fun.
And we're on the air. We're on.
All right.
We have a full house this morning, so it's kind of like a cat herd getting everybody in.
Too. This darn thing never stays up. I got problems.
I just tightened that, so here.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Here's
we're
a
good.
pair of pliers for
We're
you.
good. We're good. You know, Bob, I always question what is life all about. And this last week, we lost a couple more friends, and it just takes you right back in time. A lot of great memories. Harry West passed. Him and Red Crystal, I think, were the two longest guys ever worked for AT&T, Michigan Bell. Before that, he worked there 50 years before he retired. He took care of his mother and dad for a lot of years. He was a history buff. More importantly, he was just a good friend of mine. He came in the station with the Michigan Bell van for a lot of years, like Pat McHugh and all the rest of them. And he was a history guy in World War II. He loved guns. He loved talking about the old days, you know, even before his days. But he just passed away. You know, he did a lot of good. He was a supporter of the Boy Scouts. He was a supporter of a lot of youth stuff and gun things like that. But he enjoyed life. It was kind of sad, though. You know, you work your whole life, and then all of a sudden, bam, the good Lord takes you home. He didn't have much of a retirement. And like the old saying is, you know, I got all kinds of money, I just can't buy time. And he was one of those guys, you know. I mean, he had plenty things in his wallet, but time ran out. But our prayers and thoughts are with Harry, and I know he's looking down from heaven.
How old was he, Pat?
Oh, I don't know. He's probably 70, maybe.
Oh, he is really getting up there. That's getting up there, buddy.
Yeah, but it's sad. You know, he had so much more to give to the earth. Doug Branson, another guy we just lost. I haven't seen Doug in a few years, but I know he was a family man, and he loved his family, loved his friends. He worked hard. I think he was from the Barrington, Remus area. I'm not sure, but later in life. But prior to that, when he lived in Big Rapids, I remember him back when days he worked for Ken Waltz. He did a lot of serving papers for Ken, did a lot of that. But he's another one we're going to miss. Unfortunately, like I say, I didn't see him later in life. I think he was 68 years old is all. So, I mean, when you're 70, you're going to turn 71 this weekend. You look back and say, wow, good Lord, thank you for letting me wake up this morning. You know, no hate in my body. There really isn't. But and then one more I want to talk about is Mrs. Glazier. You know, I got her name right here, Janice. Yeah, I always called her Mrs. Glazier because she was 20 years older than me. And you know, you got to give that respect to elders. And she'd always say to me, my name's Janice. And that reminds me of Kim Wells' mother, Mrs. Wells. I called her Mrs. Wells for years. And she said to me, you can call me Ruth Ann. And I said, no, you know, we was raised that way back in the day. It was always Mr. and Mrs., you know, anybody that was older than you. But Mrs. Glazier, she had a lot put on earth here for a long, long time, had a fruitful life, I'm sure. She was married to Tom. Tom Glazier was very well known in the area, related probably to John Zimmerman. John's with us today, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And on my notes, I think that's it. And our prayers go to James Robert Rolland, too. He's from the Lakeview area. Very well-liked guy. So, you know, and then I saw where Teresa Harley, Joe Harley's wife, Charlie Harley's daughter-in-law, she just lost somebody special in her life, you know, and the woman looked very young, so I just hope it wasn't a tragic accident, but the good Lord takes a lot of them young, and a beautiful woman besides, and our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to you, Teresa, for your great loss. It sounds like she was a teacher, so she was a mentor to a lot of people in life. But you know, that kind of depresses you when you think about how God has changed your life in a moment. You know, it's just like, wow, where did it all go? But you know what? When you've had a great ride like I've had with Pete Kent's back, you know, he's been gone for 3 weeks in Dallas. He's got money. He went down there. His son accommodated him at a beautiful home, I'm sure, and had a great time. But Pete can't buy time. But by God, the time that Pete's had on earth, I know he's enjoyed it. You can say what you want to, but I love you, Pete, and welcome back. John Zimmerman, a local historian, I was telling him yesterday in the gas station, him and his sister-in-law, Joyce, was in. That's Chuck's wife, and Chuck is gone, and John is the last Zimmerman. And you're a historian, but I didn't mean to take you down a little bit, 2 steps yesterday when I said I wish Fred was still around, because, you know, we had him on here 2 times, and the stories of his life, and he knew a lot of other lives that he touched on. And gosh, what a historian! But you are too, John. And I see you brought some pictures with you. That's great. We're gonna put those on. We got Marianne Pitts here with us, and she can have that on Facebook. And there's a lot of pictures on there, like the Joe Bayshaws, and all the older guys around town can relate to those people, I'm sure. I just want to touch out 2 more things. You know, Big Rapids has been very fortunate with a lot of good leaders and a lot of people that have promoted it. And we have one with me on my right here, Katie Ross, doing a great job. You know, she's just not centered on her family, which she's doing a great job. Her husband, Joe, was on here with us a week or so ago, and he's really got involved with Big Rapids. But we need young people, and she's one of them. We're going to touch on what she's going to talk about in a minute here. But we got to be grateful and thank God for Ferris State University. You know, they've been a big institution in this community for a lot of years. My dad loved Ferris football. My dad never saw Ferris State ever win a championship. He saw them win some GLIACs back in the Ed Filion and Jeff Smith days, but he never saw them win a championship. Jim Place, Tom Walsh, Tom Cook, Nick Koso, Bob Leach, Hank Ware. Hank's still with us. But anyway, those guys are up in heaven looking down, smiling, I know, because we've had 2 championships, and God willing, we're going to have another one that's unbelievable. Saturday, I went to the game. They played Harding. Unbelievable. Tony Anise, like him or not, is a genius, and he's put a genius group of coaches together that was unbelievable. I think the score was 41-7, and they only scored 7 because they put their 3rd string in, I think. But anyway, it's nice that they let them score. But Tony, our hats are off to you from Big Rapids. We love you. You know, you've come in here and put us on the map. You go to Canada, you go to any other state in the union, they're going to talk about Ferris State, not the academics, which they should be, but they'll talk about the trophies that we have hanging up in our athletic department. And you're big time right now. Unbelievable. You're going to play this week against Slippery Rock. We've had a few of them. That's a drink, isn't it? But anyway, Slippery Rock, Arkansas, I think they're coming to town, so we wish the best of luck to you. You never can count anybody out, and it can happen. But McKinney, Texas is the week after, I believe, and it looks like maybe Valdosta will be a recap of what happened the first time we went down there, only we're going to win this one. And I think we won the second one. We played them twice, I think. But anyway, thank you, Tony. Enough said there. Tia Brando Wilhelm. Unbelievable. You know, volleyball has been kind of like a 3rd country to us in Big Rapids. Volleyball isn't really important. It's always basketball, baseball, and football, man sport. But now you get these ladies in here. Not only did we let them smoke and drink with us in the bars, we let them play sports. And actually, that volleyball is the most exciting sport there is out there. And I don't want to forget why. The music. I love the music. I went Friday night and Saturday night. I witnessed unbelievable sportsmanship. Great coaching. I mean, these girls were behind 2-1. They came back and won all 3 out of 5. And they never got down. They were down by 8 in the final. And they came back and won it 15-13, I think, or 12, whatever. They won by 2. Tia and her coaches, Matt and, I can't remember the assistants, all of them. But anyway, she has some tremendous help there. But those girls are just unbelievable. They're just great athletes, and Tia put that all together. Unbelievable. They're going to go into regional. They're the regional champs. They're going to South Dakota, I believe. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, this Tuesday. No,
you better take a break. You haven't stopped
I know.
for 20 minutes. You got to be sore.
Certain people put a smile on my face, either the beauty of them inside and out, or just a jokester. And Bill Shively's one of those guys. And I want to talk about one other important person in my life. It's Randy Vetter. Randy goes in for open heart surgery. Pete, you've been through it, I know. But Randy goes in, and it's a serious operation, Friday the 13th of all days. But he's not a suspicious guy, or superstitious guy, I should say. He believes in God's works and the doctors and everything. And he's just an upbeat fella, Like everyone, we're all controversial, he's all blowhard, this and that. But Randy does have a big heart. I see it when he sees his grandchildren when they come in the station with Lauren and Tom. He's all over it, man. He's just a great grandpa, and that tells you the integrity and the honesty and the love that guy has. And he truly is a good friend of mine. I just love him to death. He makes me smile. He makes me laugh. And the best gift you can give a person is make them smile and laugh. Isn't that right? And Randy does that. So keep him in your prayers Friday. Even if you don't like him, just cross your fingers and hope for the best. And we pray that the doctors, and he does well there Friday. So, Randy, I love you. All right. So I said to Katie Ross this morning, local realtor, one of the top ladies in town, not only beautiful on the outside, but beautiful inside. She's doing a lot for Big Rapids. I don't know how old she is, but in her time that she's been here right now, she's got a name for herself, and she deserves that. Her husband, I always called him Quiet Joe or the Silent Joe on the radio here, but we finally revealed who he was the other day. I kind of wanted to keep him a secret, but then I thought, you're putting it on Facebook, got to show the guy, you know. But man, I just couldn't believe it. It was a very unusual show for me, because usually I'm talking about somebody or something in Big Rapids, and this guy comes on and talks about Trump and the cabinet and knew everything about every one of them. I'm surprised Trump hasn't called him up, put him on his PR campaign or whatever. But knowledgeable, wow. And Katie's that way too. She's a great realtor, works for Joe McNally down here at Remax, and been around town, mother of 4. I saw a picture of her and her family on Facebook the other day. And I tell you what, folks, if you can get a chance, go to katieross.com. No, I'm not .com, but Katie Ross on her Facebook page, and look at that beautiful picture. And the first thing that I thought of when I saw that picture, it's in black and white, and it looks like the 1890s. So what a way to recreate memory in Pat Curry's mind, because when I saw that, I thought of my mother, her sisters, her dad and mother's picture. It looked the same, the graphic, everything. Just, I mean, I told her, I said, wow, how special that is. You know, everything's in color today. I loved Andy Griffith when it was black and white. When it became color, it was a whole different program. And so black and white, we still like to go back to that, especially at our age. You know, the young kids never knew what black and white TV was like, but I sure do. So anyway, blowing hard here, 8:45 already. But
Yeah,
I said to Katie, do you have a few minutes to call in? She goes, yeah, I'm going by there. I can stop right now. Katie, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, tell us what's going on in Big Rapids.
So Thursday, we are having Homes for the Holiday. It is the Downtown Business Association hosts that, and it is from 5 to 8. And the purpose of it is to be able to get everyone from the community or even further out to come downtown and shop local for the holidays. So come get your Christmas presents. But on top of that, we've really tried to make it more of a community event, so you can bring family. The kids are going to have a good time on top of that. There's so much going on. Some of the big hitters, I would say, is Santa Claus will be in Red Fox from 5 to 7. You can go see him, sit on his lap, give him your wish list, and then he'll do a live story reading after that, and that will be on Facebook. There will also be a mailbox outside by the old sleigh outside of Red Fox, where you can go drop off your letter to Santa, and he will send a response letter before Christmas. So something really magical and fun for the kids to do. My favorite thing is probably the fact that the Grinch live will be wreaking havoc on downtown. So if you come out, be careful, because he will be walking around. He'll be ready for photos, doing pranks, all sorts of things. It's a really, really cool Grinch too, so you won't want to miss that. And we also will have a lot of characters. We're having a Best Dressed Who concert or contest, because it's Whoville themed, right? The Grinch. So everyone should be dressing up as Who's, the Grinch, things like that. So we should have a lot of cute costumes walking around downtown at the same time.
What? This is tremendous to have people like you come into our community. You were born and raised here in the Morley area, Stanwood area.
Well, we lived in Big Rapids, but yeah, my parents sent me to Morley.
And then you, pretty adamant about this. What's that all about? Did you grow up just loving Santa Claus like the rest of us, and then you wanted the rest of these kids to see that what you went through? Did you have some kind of childhood that
my mom did make Christmas time special, and I think there is something behind just the magic about Christmas, and it's a time of year where you're stuck inside for the most part. So I know that things have expanded. You got Elf on the Shelf and everything else, but I just think it's a time for fun and love and giving to other people, and I make sure that my kids know that that's what it's truly about. So I think it's a great time, and if it can give people something to do to come out and support our local businesses, it's a win-win.
Is that something that Remax kind of says, go out in your communities and do that, or I mean, I see Remax gives a lot back. To
Yeah, well, I
Gilman Alley
think
Company.
any
You guys
smart
are always-
business person should be supporting their community. So
Yeah, I know, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them just go home at 5 o'clock. You're kind of stepped up a little bit. Did somebody get you into this, or did you just said, no, I'm going to do this?
no, I think that I'm the kind of person that really just tries to do as much as I can to support other people. I think the more you give, the more you get in return, because that's what Jesus says to do, right? You're supposed to give. And I think that instead of paying for so much advertising and trying to do this and that, I think just being in the community and truly trying to just do things for other people, I think you get rewarded that way.
You haven't had any backlash. I'm sure everybody just opened their arms up and said, yeah, Katie, go for it, because you're kind of the head of the helm here.
Nope, I'm on a board. They've had it in the past. We're just trying to make it bigger, better, and more community oriented and get kids involved as well. So we can just keep growing it.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. So you're going to have Santa Claus, Red Fox. I know that's John's nephew, right,
Oh.
John?
That's right.
There also will be a live nativity scene in Pocket Park with live animals and everything.
Really?
We have Christmas carolers. There's hot cocoa bar at Three Girls Bakery. There's a gingerbread contest, hosted in artwork. So there's a lot of things to do.
So just real quick, for folks that are out there listening and saying, well, what else is there in Big Rapids? Can you touch on that a little bit? What else? Where would you say you got to go see this in Big Rapids?
For Christmas time or just like
no, just
all
that
around?
night. Coming in that night, make sure you, like you said, your artworks and you got Three Girls
Yep.
Bakery. and
If you want to shop clothes, Serendipity is open and we'll be hosting that night, so you can go get some deals and get your Christmas presents there. The Pioneer will have face painting. Let's see what else. Oh, we'll be roasting chestnuts. Like, you can actually roast chestnuts and eat them outside of Three Girls Bakery as well. And unfortunately, we will not have sleigh rides this year.
Snow or what?
No,
Kevin Courtney, isn't it?
it's because something to do with hauling the horses. They had a little mishap. And then we're just going to try to expand it. So next year, we're really hoping to raise enough money where we can have an ice sculpting show.
Oh, that'd be nice. Do you remember, or you're probably too young, but I know Pete and John remember, but back in the day when we had a lot of snow, they had ice sculptures and ice or snow, oh gosh, you know, like the castles and all that. Fair State used to make them up there.
Yeah,
Sure.
not enough snow nowadays.
I'd like to add a little bit to that too, Katie. At the Red Fox from 5 until 8, the Tree Scouts will be doing live music there. You know, drawing
got a cigarette
Mr. and
box.
Mrs. Santa Claus being there.
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Yeah, that'll be going on.
You know, I tell you, the people.
I love you
really
guys,
are-
but I got to run. I got to show a
hey,
house.
We appreciate. Hey, yeah. Well, thanks a lot for stopping by, Katie. We really appreciate it. And I'm sorry I was so long-winded at the beginning there. You did a great job.
Be good, Katie.
Katie Ross from Remax. Yep.
Thanks, Katie.
Yep. Well, she's gone. What are we going to talk about?
We're all out.
She's a great lady. You know, I tell you what, I can talk about a lot of great ladies in this town. Your wife's one of them, mine is too, and John. But these young girls that are getting involved right now, I really appreciate that, because, you know, sometimes you sit there and go, nobody's doing anything. But when you hear something like Katie, and that's why I wanted to come in and talk about it a little bit, because she really is a force behind anything that goes on downtown.
Well, Heather Miller is the same way. She's very active, very active in the community. She's at Canadian Lakes. Kathy Adams, she's another one that is very active. And,
well, no, we can talk about Laura Beersma. We can talk about Carol Beck.
Sure we can. But
We
I'm
can't
just
talk
naming a
about.
few.
I know, but there's a lot of nice and great ladies. But Katie's going beyond
Katie
right now and
is-
doing this Christmas
she's
thing. I really applaud her for that.
She's
yeah,
fantastic.
And you should have been here the other day when Joe was here. Did you listen to the show down in Texas?
I've been in Texas, mister.
They streamline it. You could have
No,
heard it
they
down
don't
there.
either. I never heard except your ugly face on the
No, Facebook.
thing, Facebook,
Oh.
yeah. Hey, are you going to let me talk now that I've been waiting
Well, no,
patiently for
first
30
of all,
minutes? I
tell
have
you
not
what.
talked at all.
Two things.
What are they?
Either you weren't feeling good, or you have turned a new leaf, because you did not interrupt me.
I
one
have
time.
turned a new
What
leaf.
is wrong with you?
I've turned a new leaf.
What is wrong with you?
I wanted to say hi to Jeannie Fribley. I love her. I want to say hi to my boys in FedEx. As they're driving down, they listen to the Pat Curry Show all the time. And, you know, it's just it's a good feeling to be back. I was in Dallas for 3 weeks and a couple of days. And, I fell and broke my arm. I'm getting a little stumbly, Pat. I fell and broke my arm. They had to put a plate in there, and so I haven't been on the radio in about 3 months. Of course, Pat doesn't want me on there. But, I haven't been on to give him a bunch of junk. But I love the guy, and we've had a lot of fun. I just want to mention we did have a school board meeting last night, and I know the president of the school board pretty well. He's a pretty good guy, pretty good guy. But we're going to get a couple of brand new diesel school buses, which is going to make everybody very proud. And then we're going to get a plow truck, which is going to be very, very nice. It's got all the bells and whistles on it.
Why do you need all the bells and whistles?
Well, because we need the tow bars, we need the snow plow, we need the lights for safety.
Oh, all that
and
stuff.
that kind of good stuff.
I thought you meant air conditioning.
No, probably not.
Oh.
Probably, I don't know, Pat. It might have air. You don't buy a car unless it almost has air today.
They all do.
It used to be when I was a kid. Seriously, they had
Didn't
little
have
fans.
cars. They had a horse.
They had little fans on the on the dash that would blow to keep the. They didn't have defrost. We never had television. People are talking about televisions. We never had TV. We had ice boxes. We didn't have refrigerators. When they say color TV, they think everything's real thin. We used to get the old box, but we never had one. So that's kind of interesting. That I imagine John's the same way. You probably never had a big TV.
We didn't even have electricity.
No,
Your windows get steamed up at all?
Sure, they steamed up. You had to let
them to
we used to
steam
have
up?
little side windows, and we'd let the air when it was real cold. You remember that side windows blew the air.
Mary Ann doesn't. But Pete, getting back to you, what caused them to steam up?
The hot air I was blowing at them.
And maybe a little girl in there?
Well, maybe two.
No, you had two. Wow, that was back in the day, huh? You were the lady.
Well, we used to run around 1930 cars.
Bob, he was the
We had
ladies'
34
man.
Plymouths and 34 Chryslers or General Motors, and that was back in the good old days.
You wonder where time went. We're going to go back in time here a little bit because we're going to let John on here. But you think about it, Pete. How old are you? 89.
Thanks, Pat. I feel like I'm 100.
Right?
87, going on 88.
Yeah. You're doing good though. 87
I know
years
I
old.
am.
You're just like a cat. You
That's what
got
they
9
tell me.
lives and you're on 9.5.
That's what they tell me. But I got to go get some coffee.
No, we'll get you some. I'll go and get you some coffee. You guys go ahead and talk.
You want coffee,
Yeah,
John?
I'll go get you some
No,
coffee.
thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead,
I'll have
talk.
coffee. Well, now John Zimmerman wants to say a few words. Go ahead and talk.
Well, what I'd like to talk about is how Christmas, we're into the Christmas holidays here. And like I said, we're going to be doing Christmas music at the Red Fox on Thursday night, and that'll be from 5 to 8. It'll be live music. We have a really nice little setup with all Christmas songs. And I guess I'd like to go back and talk about how Christmas used to be as a kid growing up, how it all went, and what we had to do to raise money and work to have a Christmas and have a few Christmas presents. They were never really great, but they were great to us. Back in those days, I'll talk about myself. We'd start trying to raise money maybe back in probably 1st of October, something like that, and there was not a lot of jobs like McDonald's and Burger King and
There wasn't even
Wendy's.
McDonald's
There
in
wasn't even
town.
around. First thing that ever come into town that I remember would have been in my high school days, and that'd have been the Satellite.
Jackie
Satellite.
Ballinger ran it. She was
Yeah.
a manager.
Yeah, Satellite drive-in, and I think you could go down there and have a burger and fries and a Coke for maybe $1 and possibly $1.25.
Oh,
It wasn't
yeah.
very much,
Oh, yeah.
pretty cheap. But anyways, to make money for Christmas, my dad and my 2 brothers, Fred and Charles, of course, we was on the farm and always had a lot of work to do on the farm. So when you got your chores done, your work done, cattle in and everything done, my dad showed me how to set some traps for muskrats. And Fred talked a lot about trapping, and we did do a lot of trapping. And so the goal was to try to make $20, $25, and that would get everybody a nice enough Christmas present. So, and we could do that. It was tough. You worked on it right until this time of the year, and then there was a few people in town that would buy the furs, and one of them was Doug McGuire's.
Oh, sure.
McGuire's Auto Parts.
yeah.
Curly Russell, he used to buy furs, and he was over by the M20 now is where he was at. Had a big junkyard there. And another guy, his name was Orlikoff. He used to buy furs. But anyway,
how much did you get out of those furs? Do you remember?
oh, a nice muskrat. It was mainly, you didn't trap beaver that time of the year. Beaver was in the spring. So muskrats, they'd go anywhere from maybe $1 to $3 a piece. They're not worth that much today. Mink, a nice big mink, you could get like $25, $26 for one. So if you could catch one of those, you had your Christmas shopping all pretty much done. But that was not an easy chore. That was quite a trick to do that. But
Let me just sneak in here for 1 second to tell you WBZX Big Rapids at a minute after 9. Okay, you're good for another 2 hours. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, Judson's Hardware, which is the Red Fox grocery right now, that was my favorite place to shop. I could go into Judson's Hardware and come out of there with a nice Christmas present for everybody at that time. But so we would have that, and then Christmas Eve we'd always we went to the Catholic Church and still do. So there'd be midnight mass. So all of us, the whole family and relation and everybody, would go to midnight mass and get out usually about 1:30 in the morning, and we'd come out at home or go to somebody's home, nice big meal, big breakfast, whatever, and everybody'd get together and usually pass out the presents, and Santa Claus would always come in. So we had some very nice Christmases. It was really nice. It was all...
Was Santa Claus Tom Ryan by any chance? You remember Tom?
Oh, sure, I remember.
And he used to play Santa Claus a lot.
Tom Ryan was a wonderful, wonderful guy. You know, I never knew how Tom Ryan, didn't mean to change the subject but he used to do the Santa Claus thing at the Armory.
Yep.
And I don't know, I never knew where Tom raised the money to do that, but there was a lot of kids went to that, what was it called? Christmas?
It was raised by a lot of the businessmen chipped in.
I think so.
But the Armory was down where the parking lot is downtown next to City Hall.
That's right.
That's
where
then.
it was
And
at. But that would fill up with kids in there, and everybody got a little bag of something, and it was very nice. Tom was a wonderful guy, really nice, and all the Ryans was nice people.
Well, his wife was Etta.
Right.
And his whole family is just a real class act.
Lucia and I went to school together. We graduated from school together, and bless her heart, she's passed away now too. And but yeah, good times as kids, but in Christmas. And one of my favorite songs through Christmas is the Holly Jolly Christmas. And I always liked that song, and one of our daughters is named Holly. And that happened over that song. So, life has been very good, and trying to make money and work for a living, and how you made it all happen, was.
Well, tell me your relationship with Red Fox Market. What relationship do you have with the owner?
Clinton would be my nephew. He's
done a good job there too. Really a great job.
He's done very well. He's turned that place right around.
Yes,
and
he has.
Of course, whenever I go in, he asks me about what's these holes in the floor for, and what's this about, and what's that about. And those holes in the floor was to do with, they used to have big coils of rope down in the basement, and that rope went up, and you could pull that out, and they had foot marks on the floor, and they'd measure that out, and you could buy various lengths of rope there and different sizes of all kinds.
Who was the guy? I know Tom Justin owned it, but who was his right arm? It wasn't Curly. What was his name?
Don Lane?
Don Lang.
No, the guy was next to Don.
Cooley Longcore?
Cooley.
That's it.
Cooley. Thank you.
Mike DePew worked there.
Yep.
A lot of locals. Gary Benedict ended up taking it over.
Yep. And then there was a Mishler lady who worked there too.
Mm-hmm.
We went to school together. I don't recall her first name, but she worked in there too.
That was Mrs. Mishler.
Mrs. Mishler, yeah.
Well, she was married to a Mishler, or she wasn't married?
Thanks for the coffee, by the way, Pat. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm at 103 now.
So, anyways, Christmas, it was a wonderful time of the year. Still is. And so we're going to hope to see a lot of people come in at the Fox, listen to our music. Hopefully we won't make too many mistakes. So,
what's funny, John, is... it's not funny. I just think it's a compliment And it all goes back to this town as a family. We
Oh,
are
for sure.
all family. But when you are blood family, you really are out there supporting them. And Chick is your nephew, right?
Who's that?
Chick. Or
Oh,
not
yeah.
Chick. Well, Chick
Oh,
is
he'd
too.
be, yeah.
I always say Chick because I see Chick about every gas station day there is.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Lori and the kids.
Yeah.
Hard-working family.
Yeah.
The Zimmermans overall have been a great compliment to Big Rapids. You guys are kind of like the unsung heroes. You've done a lot, made what it is, but you've never been out in the limelight a lot. Got to get you out there. But what's his first name? Good Lord, Clint.
Clinton.
I bought his pigs for years at the
Yeah.
fair, Bob. I bought Clint's pig every year at the fair. Chuck and Joyce were very good customers, and Joyce still is. But, and that being said, I always made sure I bid on his pig, and I end up getting it every year until the last year Ron Monk outbid me.
Really?
Yeah, he gave a tremendous amount of money, and I just dropped it. And I felt bad because that was the last year Clint showed. But, I mean, when he started out when he was 6, 7 years old with a pig, I bought it, and I didn't miss one for 10 years. I think they have to quit selling after they're, 40? No, it's 18 years. I throw a little humor in there. I got to do that once in a while. You know, I did dress well today, by the way. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Yeah. You know who I'm promoting here?
So did I.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
I did really.
I'm one of those dumb guys that voted for that dumb.
Well, the good guy you want to mention is Chris Long. He voted for Don Trump, and he's running for a big office, state
Your
office.
brother. He's your
And
son.
so I hope that he is listening, which he probably is. He's on his way to Grand Rapids to work,
he?
but he is. A lot of people misunderstand Chris, but he really is a good guy if you get to really know him. I mean, I don't talk politics with him.
No, you are right
because
now. Oh.
he is for something and I'm against it. So, you know, we don't. And he might be for this individual, I might be against it. But as a person, you know, I have my opinions. You got your opinions. You got your opinions, John. I have mine also, and I respect your opinions. I want you to respect mine.
We do that, Pete.
I know
love
you
you
do.
for that.
I know you
But
do.
What do you? A lot of people. He was a controversial guy. He's done a lot of things in his short time here. But what is it that you like about him?
He is very kind-hearted. When I had knee replacement, he came in, and I mean, this was a week after I had knee replacement, and it's painful. He said, "I'm taking you on a little jaunt." I said, "Where are we going?" He said, "We're going to Chicago for lunch." I said, "Yeah, we can go down to Blue Cow, but we can't go to Chicago." So we went down to Blue Cow and had a very nice lunch. But he's a classy guy, and I know he's very controversial, but if you really get to know him, he's really a great guy. You know, really a great guy.
It's just unfortunate that some people had to meet him on the other side. I know we had a lot of bickering going on. I think that's kind of quieted down now, and hopefully that everybody be able to forgive. But it's pretty hard to forgive. Do you forgive, Pete?
I sure do.
Do you really? You
Yes,
don't have
I do.
no resentment against anybody?
No, I don't.
Somebody's done you wrong.
Hey, God says you give everybody a chance, and I'm so thankful I'm alive that if I resented people, I would have a very bad outlook on life. And my outlook is, I just thank God every day. I get up and thank God at night. I thank God. I get up in the morning. I come into Curry's and have my coffee. Get to see her smile, bright, nice and face.
How do you do it, though?
I get in the car and drive.
Yeah, really, that's good. I like that. You're Bill Shibley Jr. I have never met anybody that has better one-liners than Bill Shibley. And I tell you, one day we're sitting there, and he's making me laugh when his one-liners, and it's just the way that little Irishman of his says it. So I said to him, I said, "Bill, you're missing out, and it's not too late. I know we're all getting to be 70 years old, but I said, I'm going to see about getting you on TV." Oh, I said, "No, really." I said, "You should be on TV with your one-liners. You know, if you say blue to him, he'll make it purple, and you'll laugh at it."
Yep.
And so he said to me, he goes, "Well, I know one person that would love to have me on TV." I said, "Really? Who's that?" And he goes, "My wife." I said, "Why is that?" "So she could turn it off." You know, that's just the kind of one-liners he had. We're going to take a break here at 9 o'clock, top of the hour.
We just had one, Bub.
Oh, you did?
No, we
We're
didn't.
good for 2 hours, and we are on 103.9.
He doesn't care about the commercials
I don't
and the
care about the
sponsors.
I'm not doing commercials anymore.
Yeah.
by the way.
Bob, what do you got a Playboy over there for anyway? I was just going to ask.
Yeah,
you.
right.
No, you got a magazine over there, Playboy magazine. What's that all about? Huh?
What
Is that what it is?
That's the logo of the radio station that's going out.
No, hey, let's talk about our sponsors. Pete, you're good at this.
No, I don't talk.
What's the first thing you think of, Pete, when I say Big Rapids, Pennsville, and auto repair, Zach, tires, oil change, and auto? What do you think? What's the first thing?
Well, I think I need tires, and I went to get my car checked at.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
okay,
listen. Get my car checked for oil and this kind of stuff, and then I was going to take it over to Donnie and have him do some work. And they told me my rear end was bad, so they hauled it down.
Well,
Curries
getting old. It's 87 years old.
Curries Wrecker hauled it down.
You're talking about your
Mercedes
car.
dealer.
I thought you were talking about you.
No, my Mercedes dealer. And I'm sorry I have a Mercedes. I've been driving them for 50, 60 years.
Status thing. Go ahead.
No, it's not a status thing. It's a reliability.
I know. It's a nice car.
But I had the car, and it was $4,000. And guess what Zach did for me? He could have charged me the $4,000, but he found out I had it still under warranty, under 15,000,
Wow.
100, 15 years old or 10 years old, and 100,000
Go ahead. I'm
miles.
just looking at my Facebook.
But I think about Zach, man, is one of the doctors here in Big Rapids on everything for automobiles, and he's just a class guy. He was very sick yesterday. He went back into work today, so I got to talk to him this morning. As soon as I leave here, I will.
Yeah, good. Well, that's very nice. That's a true testimony of.
And his father, there's no one like him. He is true class.
He is,
and his grandfather or his dad is a true class.
Kim is, in my opinion, in the top 3 of all time eligible bachelors.
I would say he's number 1.
Number 1. Okay, we're going to go with number 1 and number 3. So, yeah, I think he's a great guy, Kim is. Do you owe him any money?
I don't owe him any money.
And you say that even though you don't owe him money? Because a lot of people say they like you because they owe you money.
I don't owe you any money, and I told Tom Kuntz your birthday was whenever it was, and I said, give Pat Curry the flag that flew over the Capitol.
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. You asked him.
You would. Well, anyway, I'm glad to have you back. Now, that being said.
You gave my seat away, though.
I
don't have the ring on there. You gave the seat over here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how much I missed.
Well, I apologize. Bob, you take care of that next week. What do you think when I say Seth Winger, besides being a ladies' man?
When I say Seth Winger, I think of Madison Avenue. He bought Fred Gunther's house, put a big fence around it. He's moved up towards Grand Rapids, and I will miss the guy, but he was in our stock club, and he's getting out of that. But he's over in Baldwin, and he's a class act. Yeah. He's another class act. I mean, he just is a classy guy.
Yeah, sells insurance here in Big Rapids. He's still going to stay in Baldwin. But due to some athletic events that they moved to Rockford to be closer because the price of gas. But you notice since Trump has won.
It's gone down.
Yeah, it's starting already gone. They're open. I talked to my supplier and he said it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
$2.39 in Texas, by the way.
Yeah, in Texas. Yeah. Well, come to Michigan, it's 68 cents in taxes. Oh, by the way, Whitmore's done a nice job on our roads.
She's
put all that money into
19 cents a gallon more she wants to charge.
I know. Well, she wanted 45 cents the first time. What do you think when I say Gilbert's carpet plus color tile?
Well, I can remember when Gilbert's carpet was over there across the street by Save-A-Lot. They had a big outfit right there, and they were the installers. And he told me, the Gilberts told me they were going to move across the street and build a building. And they put my carpeting in probably 60 years ago. And believe it or not, I bought good carpeting. not 60 years ago. I'm sorry, about 38 years ago. And it's still in my living room. It looks brand new. And,
wow.
They're quality. They're two quality young brothers.
Yeah.
And they do a very good job,
Yeah. Well, they come from a good bloodline. Yep. Todd Gilbert.
The Gilbert family.
Gordy Gilbert. Yeah. You go south town, folks, back in the old days, and John can tell you, and John, we're going to get back to you after this next hour. Boy, we're blabbling on. You're pretty good today. The Gilberts owned all the property south of town when you came to city limits, and they sold it off slowly. So anyway, thanks Gilberts for supporting us here. DW2 Drywall, Dale Wiley, what do you think?
DW2 Drywall. They're if you have a problem with any kind of cleanup or mop up or water damage, they're the ones to call because I think there's another one in town and he's good. But DW2, they're very good. They're brand new. Their place is south of town in Big Rapids, past the radio station, but on the west side of the road, and they do a great job.
And that's 911.
That's 911.
That's okay, though.
Okay.
We're getting there. We're getting there. That's 911. Joe does a great job.
Okay.
His name is Joe, isn't it?
I think so.
We went down there and visited him.
We
that
did.
one day. Yeah.
Well, who were you talking about?
Dale Whaley.
Dale Whaley.
Yeah. He's a cancer survivor.
Okay.
And I point that out because he's a great contributor to anybody having troubles, and he's a drywaller here in town. Him and Frank.
I forgot the drywaller.
Yeah.
There's not many guys that take pride in their work like Dale. And I'm sorry.
I didn't say that.
I
just said he's a good drywaller. I didn't say something about pride.
He takes very good pride.
He does. Yes, he does.
The ownership, and he'll do any job, big or small. And, he takes care of business, and he's very fair priced.
Thank you, Pete. And his phone number is 679-0475. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. Hey, can we play songs?
Nope, we're on a stream.
Oh, wow. Because I have a song I really want to play for Paulette and Ron DeVries. But
how about Mama Kissing Santa Claus? But you know
that's
what
the one I want.
Return to Santa. Return to Santa.
Oh, I love you. How about Michigan Landscape and Excavate?
Oh, wow. He was out
Jeff
here.
Garrett.
He was on the show.
Yeah, very good, Pete. You have a good memory, short term anyway. I don't know about long.
He's just a class act.
He is.
I know I don't know much about landscaping, but I saw the job he did at your house. And I said, this guy is immaculate.
Yeah, he does a nice job.
Very fair priced.
I don't know about that, but yeah, he's done.
And he does a quality.
What the hell's fair price today anymore? You can't
whatever
buy.
You're willing to pay.
I tell you what, my wife and I go out for lunch now. We went to Noel's, and that was a great lunch. And I had my feet
$40.
Well, I know, but I'm not even.
I go to Curry's for that $5 hamburger.
Yeah, no, but you go any place today, and you can't eat cheap anymore.
$5 at Curry's.
I just wanted to say, Noelle's, I love her husband, Dave. I always called him John. And she come out and said hello, too. But I tell you, if you haven't been to Noelle's, you got to go there. Bob, have you ate there?
Cupcake lady, and she sells good lamb.
Huh? Oh, gosh.
But she used to make prime rib.
And she's got the greatest help.
Out of this world.
But have you been there?
Oh, yeah. She lives out there by me.
Well,
I go there all the time.
Well, anyway, you do go there all the time.
All the time.
John, have you been there?
No.
You should. If you go there,
Lamb
Bob,
Euro.
have you been there? You got to go there because if you go into her place, it's like going to Florida, one of those shops. It's nothing like it in Big Rapids. You don't even know you're in Big Rapids.
They had the gals who were out there with bells on their hips, and they were shaking and baking.
That's at Fashion Nails. I went there first.
No. That's in the wall. She has a dance sometimes when you're having dinner or lunch.
We didn't call that a dance.
And the young Quinn girl sings out there a lot.
Yep. So but I love it. A little bar there. You can have a whiskey. You can have a beer. You can't smoke weed there. No weed.
Unless she catches you.
Yeah, I don't think you can smoke weed in there. But Fashion Nails is down there. I went and had a pedicure.
Me too, yesterday. Yesterday I had a pedicure.
It's a man thing, ain't it?
I know it is. Look at those nails. Man, I'm telling you. Look at those feet. I mean, they look incredible.
Yeah, mine too. It's just like a baby's. You know what?
And they grease your legs and wax your. I mean, they really give you a good.
But anyway, I won't spend too much time. I had a good time down.
Kick it over. No, this way.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a great world out there in Big Rapids. Then you got Barrington Firearms Training Center. I'll tell you what, Casey and Cal are two of the nicest guys, let alone teach you how to shoot a gun. You know how important that is? It's very important, people. It's the easiest thing to do is go out there and show your identification and buy something at Dunham's. You can go out there and buy a pistol. You can go out there and get a rifle. But do you know how to use it? That is the crucialest part of buying a gun, owning a gun. If you want to learn how to shoot it right and how to clean it, the whole works and what the operation is on it and what's the law on that's Barrington Firearms, man. They're the only place to go. They're right over there on Barrington. They're on 18 Mile Road, I believe it is. Easy to find. You can look it up on a website. But Casey and Cal, forever, I really appreciate them. We had our second annual buck pull this year, and we had, I think, close to 30 bucks. Incredible. I think we're going to have a lot more next year because I think people realize that we gave away 6 guns. The 4-pointer, nobody came in with a 4-point, so we gave that to somebody else. I think a 7-point got it. But we gave a great shoulder mount from Woodland Taxidermy up here, Jeff Tyson up here in company. They're booked full right now.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy.
His wife is Deb Tyson, who's our assistant superintendent of the schools.
That's nice. But anyway, Jeff does a nice job, and he's just full, and there's a reason he's full. He does great job. He's got a great staff, yeah. Quality. But anyway, he's big supporter of ours. Chris Benix, nope, let me back up. Shane Strichter, Will Strichter won that. And then the grand prize was a beautiful gun. I can't remember what kind it was, but it was a nice one.
Who won it?
I don't know. A guy from down by Northfield. John Davison's son, Calvin, came up with him, and they shot it out here north of town up by Spruce. Big 14 point, got a nice gun. But we had some just great prizes. The Stricters took everything. Those Stricters took 3 guns.
I thought we were talking about Casey. What are we talking about guns?
We're talking about the buck pull for a minute.
Well, I want to say something about Casey.
Yep,
One
go
time,
ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt
got thrown in jail.
But no. Casey's wife, Patience, is our, she's like the head, she really runs at the ISD.
Okay. Yeah.
And she tells me when our MOP meetings are, Macassacioli
Somebody better.
And she keeps me so straight that I love her to death. I don't like Casey too well, but I love her. I like Casey.
Okay, well, anyway, I want to thank Cal and Casey. They're very much involved with the buck pole. Moving right along, John Zimmerman, you brought some nice, interesting pictures. Bring them on over here. Can we get them on Facebook? Because I kind of like to share them with the Bayshaws and everybody out there.
That corner with
Yeah, why don't we come
we'll
over
put
here?
them on this mic.
I'll hand you the book.
Take your Mickey Mouse Club things off.
I'll hand you the book.
Yeah. Here, we'll hand them over here. Yeah,
I'll do it.
Bob, you want to take a short break? And
Yeah, let's
thank
do
our
that, and we'll get
sponsors?
everybody rearranged.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. We'll be right back after this message.
You got it.
I got
Gilbert's Carpets Plus, color tile. Stop and shop with us for a while.
This is Amy
And this is Corinne from Gilbert's Carpets Plus Color Tile.
Upgrade your windows and save on energy costs at Gilbert's Carpets Plus. We have an offer you won't want to miss. From now to January 31st, get your first 3 windows installed free with any purchase of Draper, Hunter Douglas, or Graber custom shades.
Whether you're looking for energy efficient designs or simply a stylish upgrade, our custom shades will help you save on heating and cooling costs all year long. And with our expert installation, your new windows will fit perfectly and look amazing.
Don't wait. This special offer ends January 31st. Visit Gilbert's Carpets Plus at 14150 Northland Drive in Big Rapids or call 231-796-2700 to get started today and get your first 3 windows installed free.
Gilbert's Carpets Plus, where beauty, comfort, and savings come together.
Gilbert's Carpets Plus, color tile. Stop and shop with us for a while. Gilbert's is there for you.
A trusted landscape design starts with the right team, and the right team to discuss what can be is Michigan Landscape and Excavate. This team is led by Michigan lifer Jeff Garrett. Jeff has assembled a team that knows that high customer satisfaction is why they stay in business. He requires his team to be the most professional service you've ever worked with for both residential and commercial accounts. Grading and land sculpting, trenching, excavating, septic systems, bulldozing, retaining walls, hydro seeding, seasonal cleanup, one-offs. They're a full-service landscape and excavation contractor. Michigan Landscape and Excavate create complete landscape solutions to be uniquely personal. As they say, now that's magazine worthy. They're committed to excellence. Text or call 231-349-4667 or email michigan.landscape.excavate@gmail.com.
I'm Seth Wenger from Wenger Insurance. For more than 100 years, we've been providing professional service and competitive insurance to West Michigan. Come visit us on Perry Street in Big Rapids or give us a call at 796-0778. We're here for you now, and we'll be here when you need us most. 796-0778.
Dale, I've known for many, many years, and I tell you what, when somebody needs some help, he's there. Just like your typical Mecosta County resident, Dale Whaley is a good American. So if you're ever looking for a drywaller for free estimate, call Dale. I'm telling you, you're going to be happy with his work. I have recommended Dale to a lot of people, and you know what? The greatest compliment I've ever gotten is thanks for sending Dale. He did a great job for me. Guy's just fantastic. Just not only is a drywaller with DW2 drywalling, but it's just a great person. It doesn't hurt to have him come into Curries either. There's just so many good things about Dale. He's just a great American, and give him a call, DW2 Drywall at 231-679-0475. That's right, 231-679-0475. Dale Whaley is DW2 Drywall. Greatest guy on drywalling end of it.
Where do you go for Michigan's #1 concealed pistol license course? the same place thousands of Michigan residents have over the past 15 years, the Barrington Firearms Training Center. The BFTC conducts state-certified CPL courses right here locally inside the Barrington Conservation Club at 3444 18 Mile Road in Barrington. For just $99, all you need to bring us is your Michigan ID to these all-inclusive one-day CPL courses, which include the use of firearms, ammo, eye and ear protection, coffee and donuts in the morning, and lunch at noon. That's right, just $99 gets you everything needed to take the police department instructed course that includes the training necessary to safely load, unload, handle, and store your firearm. Students will also be trained on when it is legal to defend themselves with a firearm under Michigan's Stand Your Ground law and Castle Doctrine. Call 231-250-7257 or go online at michigancpltraining.com to register for one of their upcoming $99 all-inclusive CPL courses. Get armed, get trained at the Barrington Firearms Training Center.
Pennzoil in Big Rapids is your quick-stop shop for oil changes and so much more. With certified techs and 35 years experience, they'll have you in and out in a flash, and a free car wash with every service. And don't forget about tires. As quickly as the seasons change in Michigan, it's easy to lose your grip. Luckily, Pennzoil in Big Rapids has the tires you need to dominate all seasons in Michigan. Big tires, fast tires, grippy tires, sleek tires. Go see Zach Wells at Big Rapids Pennzoil today. He'll get you back on the road and ready to roll. That's Big Rapids Pennzoil, located at 710 North State Street, or give them a call at 231-796-4730.
Bob?
All right, we're back. So,
oh my God, we're in the studio with my favorite.
Yeah. So before we go on, we got to tell everybody how to do this, okay? If you want to see the pictures we're about to show, because we're going to do show and tell here for the next hour or so, go to Big Rapids B1039. Actually, Facebook.com/Big Rapids B1039. All right, and then you got to click on the live link, and then you will be able to see the picture. So that way you can actually see the pictures as we're describing them.
All right. Well, folks, just to kind of heads up a little bit, I hope you do go to our Facebook page. Go to Facebook, B1039.
Yeah, Facebook.com/B1 Big Rapids B1039. Yes, backwards. Big Rapids B1039.
Okay. We're going to give them a few minutes on that because I'll tell you what, John Zimmerman's with me this morning, and I'm just really excited because, you know, at my age, to get excited, that's got to be, you got to impress me by quite a bit of here. And what we got here is history. And I asked John Zimmerman to come on here. Like I said earlier in the show, his brother Fred had been on here a couple of times, and that just went over well. And you can still see that on what, Bob? It's on.
Well, we have it on. We have the stream.
Yeah, stream.
Okay, I got to turn that on.
Anyway,
we have the stream on YouTube.
Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself because we just kind of reminisced through here, John, on some of these pictures, and we're going to give the folks just a few minutes to get started here. But I opened up the book, and my gosh, I can remember these people so well. And, you know, a lot of people say, wow, your son Adam looks just like you, Pat. You know, my classmates that come back for the 50th that we have every year, Adam came last year, and a couple of gals said, my God, Pat, if he isn't another little Pat Curry right there. Yeah. And so fathers, sons do look a lot alike, and sometimes not so much. But I looked at one here just a minute ago, and we'll show it to you in a second. But my God, he looks like Nate. Married Todd Gilbert's daughter, Nate Zimmerman, which would be Chick's son, and Lori's. And so there's Zimmermans look like Zimmermans.
Yep.
But anyway, this isn't a Zimmerman
and the
here.
Burnses, we were double cousins, you know.
Right, yeah.
Yep. And
all right, so point to what picture you're describing as you're doing it, because it'll show up on camera.
Okay.
Let me break in here just a minute. I got to thank my sister-in-law, Carol, and that would be Fred's wife. Mm-hmm. You know, I bet you, Carol, I hope you're listening, but I don't think you figured probably how many years ago when you was putting these albums together you'd ever see them get put on open, what would I call it here?
Streaming into the world and on the internet.
Yeah, open to everybody to see. But thank you very much for doing this. Yesterday when Pat asked me to come on, I had no idea what I was going to talk about. So here we are. We're talking about family pictures and history, and so thanks an awful lot, Carol.
What did I tell you? I said it'll go over fine.
We'll figure it out, Pat says. I said, okay, we'll pull that rabbit out of... At least I gave you one day
instead of calling you this morning.
Yeah, we'll pull that rabbit out of the hat someplace here. That's what I said.
You, John,
so anyway, here we go.
All right. So
I'll try to explain the best I can, and we'll go through these pictures.
Do you remember this, buddy? And folks, for you guys who are out there, and I hope, Joe, you're listening, Bayshaw, this is Harry Balmick. Unfortunately, Harry died in 1976, I think, a Highline out at Western
I
Concrete.
thought earlier than that, but maybe not.
Might have been 74, 75.
I don't know.
Unfortunate, untimely death, terrible.
Right.
But his father, Harry Balmick, was one of my truly best friends I've ever had. Harry was a lot older. He was my dad's age, but he was one of those guys that treated everybody the same, young or old. And he used to go to the horse races with me, believe it or not. And I'll never forget the memorable trip that Linda Schuberg and Harry Balmick and myself, we went to Hart, Michigan. I won over that day, and I was knocked out of the sulky the first heat. In the second heat, I came back to win. But Red had that Irish, beautiful smile. But anyway, moving along. This is his son, Harry, and I don't know who that was. It doesn't say, but this is their sister, and her name was Carol Lynn Bayshaw. Yep. She married a Cahill, and that's Lawrence and Elaine's daughter. But anyway, Bayshaw there. So there's a picture. But moving right along, there's so many of them.
Now here's one we need to back up on.
Go ahead,
That's
I'll let you
Diane
take.
and Chuck Franklin as a young couple.
Yeah,
and,
Chuck and Murdy's.
Yeah, Chuck and Murdy's garage. So
Now
they're
what?
in there.
What relation or no?
Yeah, sure. Diane would be my second cousin.
Oh, okay.
Diane would have been.
Is this a Schroeder?
No, that is Steve Zimmerman.
Oh, okay.
Is who that was, and he worked at the gas company. Not the gas, down propane.
Six Lakes or where? Oh,
yeah,
Holmes
propane.
LP. Oh, yeah, I'm knowing real well.
Steve.
You want to show that on Facebook real quick, the invitation? You got that, Marianne? It's Lawrence Balmick's daughter, Bill Cahill.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, John, we'll move right along, and I don't mean to interfere, just if
Here's,
you see something of interest. But
this is the mother to Steve right here, and Diane. That's
Okay.
Greta. That'd have been she'd have been my first cousin. Greta would have been.
Okay.
And this is another. She was a beautiful girl. And Dolores Cole. That'd have been my dad's sister's daughter, right there. That is Marcelin Bush. That'd have been my dad's sister, Aunt Marie. That'd have been her daughter. And she had Marcelin and Glorianne.
Brad Bayshaw.
Yeah.
Real quick. Denise Horgan.
Denise Horgan.
She works the city right now.
Yeah.
And who's that?
That's brother Fred is a young
Fred
boy.
Zimmerman, yeah. Wow,
for
he's a big boy, wasn't he?
He's a good-looking boy.
Yes,
He
he
had
was. You
lots of
Zimmermans
curly
all
hair.
have a little dark in you.
Yeah.
You're all dark skin.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Who we got over here?
Well, that
Catholic
I
Church.
think from here is probably Herb and maybe I'm getting out of my mic here.
No, it's all right.
That is Herb and Liz Cole. That'd have been my dad's sister too.
Okay.
And over here's some more sweetheart pictures here. I believe that says Aunt Mary and what's that say, Pat? I don't have my
Marie,
glasses.
Anne, Marie, and Mary. But let me ask you a question, John. I know girls a hot boat weekend down there in Muskegon River.
Oh, yeah.
But is that what a hot boat weekend was
I
back
suppose
in the
it
day?
was back at that time.
Yeah,
but
they're
I
beautiful
doubt it. That
girls.
was actually at Pickerel Lake. We
Okay.
always called it Pickerel Lake. They have a new name for it now. I don't know what it is. And of course, this is Dad. And we used to shovel snow 2 foot deep off in the lake to go ice skating.
The lake you're at now, or
well, there and over to Town Line Lake and
Okay.
different
Yeah.
places.
Wow.
And that's I don't know who that is there. And that's my mom and dad is young people.
Yeah.
Probably when they just
is that
got married
Burgess
and
Lake
stuff.
too? Then Pickerel.
I think
Burgess?
that is Pickerel Lake.
Yeah.
We spent an awful lot of time at Pickerel Lake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, but back in the day, like you just alluded to it. You said that you spent a lot of time on Pickerel Lake.
Oh yeah.
That was the entertainment back then because you didn't have theaters.
Oh no, not at all.
I mean,
no
so they had to
theaters.
have their own
The only
entertainment.
theater I remember about the drive-in theater, and you could go in there one night of the week for I think $1 for a carload.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So, and that is some of the Welcome family. When that would have been my dad's sister. Their family. That's my grandmother, and I think probably about a 90th. She was only 13 days from being 100 years old.
Wow.
She was a going lady.
You remember what year she died in about? How many
Sure.
years
She
ago?
was born in 1865, and she died in 1965.
Oh,
the year
my
I graduated
Lord.
from school.
Saw a lot of history.
Yeah.
She knew Wyatt Earp, my hero.
Pardon?
She probably knew Wyatt Earp.
I wouldn't be
My hero.
surprised.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what
Wow.
she did know.
Uh-huh.
That lady right there, my grandmother, always had a story. There was a Indian tribe over by, I think that is Bronson Avenue that goes out, over there. And if you keep on going out there was some bushes that lived in there, and there was a tribe of Indians lived over there on the north side of that creek. And she was baking bread one day, and this Indian come and had a knife switching around, and she thought the Indian was going to try to kill her with this knife, but the Indian actually just wanted to trade this knife for a loaf of bread.
Wow.
So talk about history. That's a lot of history.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And of
you
course,
know what's
that's
funny?
some more pictures
you know what's
over here.
cool, John, is, and there is a heaven. She's looking right down.
Oh, you bet.
Watching you
Yeah.
on 103.9, showing her picture of a lady that's been gone for what, 50, 60 years?
60 years,
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, that's
a
160.
long time. And this
Yeah, go
here,
ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
think, that's some of the family there too. But most of these are all of Grandma here. She was a lovely lady.
Yeah.
Lovely lady.
I
talk
never
about
met a Zimmerman that wasn't, unless they were married into
Well,
their family.
let me tell you a little more story about this. She come right from Germany when she always said she come when she was 7. But from being over and going through the archives, I think she might have been 11. But not knowing English,
Right.
7 and 11 could have sounded the same.
Right.
But anyways, I forgot where I was going to go. Oh, I know where I was going with this story. Got to think a minute here.
Oh, you're good.
We never had electricity, but we had a party line, telephone party line. I think there was 27 people on it, and of course there was Germans and there was Polish people and there was. Of course, I said that nice Polish.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to say too much about that.
Can't say nothing bad here.
Well.
Just a lot of different nationalities.
Right.
So this party line, they'd get on, they'd want to start talking about something, so they'd talk in whatever language they knew.
Right.
And it would be German, So,
All right.
with Grandma. But anyway, very interesting as a
What
kid.
did they do when they first came over? Did they ever say, were they on the farm? Or
Well,
were fruit
they come
farmers?
here when they left out of Germany. Took them 67 days to come across here on the boat, and I actually
Why didn't
had
they
some-
fly?
Pardon?
Why didn't they fly?
Oh, I don't know. Didn't have wings, I
Bob's
guess.
smiling over there like,
Didn't have
"Pat, you're
wings.
goofy."
They didn't have
I
any
love
wings
this.
yet. The angels
Right,
didn't come to
right,
them. So they,
right,
67 days they were, and then they
Wow.
got, what do you call? They had dysentery and different things,
Right.
from coming on the boat, and then they got, what do you call when
wow.
they put them in quarantine? They got quarantined for several days, and then 3 years later, they made it from there to Michigan. Well, into Michigan.
Did they ever say why they came here? I know.
They was going to go to work in the logging camps.
Okay.
And that's what there was.
Okay.
But by the time they got here, actually, I come to find out later in life that they got messed up. They didn't have their GPSs and all that stuff going in them days, and they ended up in Ohio.
Okay.
And time went by, and they got connected with the mails, which would have been Tom Mail and Chinky Mail and the
Right.
people that sold
Wow.
insurance. And they come from Ohio and got to Big Rapids. But by the time they got to Big Rapids, the logging was all done. So they, went to work tried to get on the farms and start doing things. And that's how that all went. And then, of course, they settled down on the farm out, where Kelvin is at out there.
Right,
and,
right.
And that's where I have my piece of property there, too. So, a lot of history.
Yeah, I love you, Zimmerman. I'll tell you, I just want to take a break and let people know the Zimmermans have been around here a long, long time, and I call them the unsung heroes of Big Rapids because they have made up Big Rapids to what it is today, and you don't even know what they've done. I don't think there's been a more generous family. There's a lot of generous families in Big Rapids, but you Zimmermans have given so much. I know Fred at the Catholic Church. I mean, he was rough and gruff, and everybody loved him. I loved him. I'm getting chills thinking of him because he farmed that land of mine out there where I bought when I was a sophomore in high school, and he always wanted a contract, and I said, my word's my word, Fred.
Yeah.
And after 50 years, he finally said to me, he goes, Pat, he says, one thing about you, he says, your word is your word.
That's right.
Never signed a contract with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, you people have contributed a lot to what Big Rapids is, and we're going through a lot of the history right now. I mean, you've been around here, your blood's been here since 1865 then.
All right.
Not too many people can say that. I don't even know if the Curries can say that. I know my mom and dad's, the Kylings came over here That'd be interesting to find out. I'll do that on my next memorable trip. But
I don't know when the Burnses, I don't know what their dates were too, but I have some pictures of my grandpa and grandma. They're up near the front. But
this is a nice home. Where's that
going
at?
With this
where's this at?
That, I think, is at Liz Cole's, Liz and Herb Cole. And they used to have the convalescent home out on, no, it would be on Grass Lake Road.
Lake Road. I remember that. That's right. You
Cole's
used to turn
convalescent
into a
home.
hippie home.
It did.
Yeah,
I
hippies
think
moved in there. Good
first
guy.
time I ever seen marijuana growing in the garden.
First time I ever smoked. I never smoked it and inhaled it, but I smelt it.
Oh, yeah.
I was driving a record for my dad, and I went out there to pull somebody out of the driveway, and they were hiring a kite, and I didn't know what the heck hiring a kite was. I couldn't smell no booze on them, and I went back the next day. I said to my dad, I said, "Man, you ever gone out to that house out there in Grass Lake?" He goes, "Did you?" And I says, "Yeah." He goes, "You didn't smoke any of that stuff with them, did you?" I said, "No, what is it?" And he goes, "That's weed." I was 16, I kind of acting naive to my dad. But you know what? One thing about those people that smoked it back then, they're all loving, weren't they?
Oh, I guess so. I don't know.
They
I don't
shared
have
each
much.
other.
I never had an need
Maybe
or
you
wants
should.
for that.
But all right, moving along. I love these pictures.
Okay.
Grandma and Katie.
That would be Grandma, and Katie, that would be Dad's mother, and Katie was Dad's sister.
Wow. Group of beautiful women here.
Yeah.
Wonder what they were doing that day.
Oh, probably a Sunday picnic, I'll bet.
They got together back then on Sundays.
A lot of people got together and was very entertaining about things.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got some really good pictures.
Yeah.
This one here I love.
That's my dad. It is probably, it says 1970, but it's probably, I'm going to guess it probably was maybe about his 75th birthday, but what I'm thinking. I see a cake in front of him here. And
it says 63rd.
Oh, maybe.
There.
Oh, it does. Yeah. Thanks for.
But no, it's okay,
being
John.
my eyesight.
But when I look at him, you know who I see? I see Matt Burns.
Oh yeah. Well, see Matt. A lot of people ask me, "Who do you miss most? Do you miss your mom or do you miss your dad?" And I said, "Well, I miss my mom more." "Well, how come you don't miss your dad much?" "Well, I see him when I look in the mirror."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, you guys all look alike, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but he does look a lot like Matt
dad.
Burns.
He was a very good dad.
Yeah,
and I had
there's
a wonderful
mom and dad there, huh?
Yeah.
I went to her funeral. I remember that. I don't remember his, but her.
And that talk about hard times.
Yeah.
I remember when that tractor come on the farm. Calvin and Nathan have that tractor yet today, but that was they used to have trailer mowers, but that was a fixed mower, and that big old bar that Dad's got a hold of. That's how you raised that sickle bar up.
Right.
You talk about strong man.
I was going to say,
strong man.
Guy like
That's
me
what
couldn't
that
pick that
was.
up.
But
that's what I was going to say about the Zimmermans. Your homestead is still there, run by the fourth generation Zimmerman.
Oh yeah.
Smoke.
Yeah.
So
a lot of work, a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
This here's a picture here.
Tell us about
I don't know if John Mondrella or old Jerry Mondrella and Catherine. I don't know if you guys could be on this morning. I hope so. But this is a picture of my dad and Bud Mondrella with some beaver, and that is an otter that's in front of him here. Otter was a very difficult critter to catch in the day, but that that sale was above the American Legion Hall, which I believe is still in Big Rapids. It's some ice cream shop today. But there was different fur buyers would come there and they would buy these furs, bid on them, and that's the way you sold them.
What'd they get for them back then? Did you ever hear?
Oh, probably them were big blanket beavers, and I think maybe $55, $60 back
The beaver
then.
was very important back then as
It
it
was,
is now.
yeah. It was
Not
all
as-
went into
not as
hide. And
important today, beaver.
here's more of them. That's Dad down here with his. That was a Sunday, I'm sure, because he always wore a white shirt and a tie on Sunday. But everybody dressed up.
But wasn't the beaver used for clothing too? I mean,
Oh yeah, for coats and stuff.
But these were rugs more
sure.
or less. Huh?
And Uncle Fred, he took some mink, 2 or 3 of them, and had a mink collar made for Aunt Marie. And it was a beautiful. I don't know. I bet you one of the girls might still have it.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Family gathering there, huh?
Yeah, family gathering there.
Yeah, let me help you there.
Yeah. And
now we're getting into colored.
Oh yeah.
Colored
this is
pictures.
getting modern now.
Yeah.
1976.
91 here.
Yeah.
Kathleen Mandrella?
No.
No. Doyle?
That'd have been.
I bet it's Kathleen Doyle, isn't it?
No. That'd have been. This is mostly all the Zimmerman side.
Okay.
That'd have been Aunt Liz's daughter.
Oh, I never heard of an Andy.
Oh, Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I'm a little bit wrong. That's Andy Sobey. And that'd have been Ed's brother, and they always used to come up here hunting. And someplace we're going to keep moving here, and we're going to get some pictures of some a lot of deer and stuff onto old cars and stuff.
Sure.
That's Andy and Kathleen right there. She just passed away last fall. Andy's been gone quite some time. And this is some of their kids, the Sobey kids there. They have Sobey meat. And a lot of people's heard of Sobey meat in Marne, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
And Bill and Connie Stradoff, they deliver milk,
Yeah.
you know, from Hillhoff Dairy
I'll be darned,
into
yeah.
there. So big old circle of different things that went on. What do we got there, Pat? That's my dad
getting
and
good
some,
there?
and,
All right, let me move that out
and
of the
that
way.
would be Fred and Chuck.
Yeah,
with
Pa
my
and
dad.
Chuck, yeah.
And
Now he looks a lot like Nate,
probably,
which would be his great grandson.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Well, it's the old bloodline.
I know. Yeah, it's still there, ain't it?
Bloodline.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we got a lot of different little
Postcards
This is
there.
all deaths things here.
Yeah, there's Rodney Baumick, that's Joe's brother, and Pete Zimmerman, and
Carol
Betty
done a
Cooper.
beautiful job putting this together, didn't she?
She did a wonderful
She
job.
done a
Carol
beautiful
should
job.
be here
Thank
with
you
us.
again, Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is my grandmother over here again, and that's Marie Bush. And,
yeah.
I don't know what year.
2006. Yeah, she was very important to Big
She was a
Rapids.
lovely lady, lovely lady. And her husband, Fred, was a nice guy, too.
Didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know him.
And this is Grandma again over here, and I
Okay.
guess that's her 90th birthday party.
Wow.
Picture there.
Yeah.
This over here is my cousin Denny.
Okay.
And
Burns?
I think that Denny Burns.
Wow.
That's probably his mom. I don't know what year that would have been taken,
Wow, yeah. It's a
but
nice
along
picture.
quite some time ago.
Yeah.
And let me see, we could pass through some of this stuff. I don't know what this is all about.
I want to get to. Oh, this is good here.
Yeah.
Here it is. Dear Mr. Zimmerman, will you please give us the amount of money which you are holding for your mother's burial expense? Also, let us know whether this money is held by you or is deposited in a bank where interest occurs. Now, that's from the Kent County Department of Social Welfare, Vernon Thorne, caseworker. Now, I didn't realize they did that back then.
I think so, yeah.
Social Welfare Commission. I don't even know if they have one anymore.
I don't know.
But that's quite a document. There,
Interesting,
isn't it?
quite
Yeah.
a document, isn't it?
This is a beautiful girl, Jack Altice, if you're out there this morning.
Yeah.
That's Gloria Ann, right?
Gloria Ann,
Altice,
yeah, for sure.
Which was Bush.
Yeah, that had been Fred and Aunt Marie's daughter, and they had Marceline too.
Yeah. And they got married, and there's a year on there. When was that? 1942, I think. No, I'm only kidding. She wasn't even born then. But yeah, Gloria Ann, you're a beautiful woman, as today you still are. But, you know, we all age a little bit.
Yeah.
When was it? Does it say a year on there? Oh, October 12th. Doesn't say what year. But yeah, Jack Altice, that lucky Canadian, came down
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Actually, he's from
Hooked up with her, that Jack.
yeah,
I don't know. What
Nearlandia, Alberta, Canada is where Jack was from.
Yeah, Alberta. That's
and
right.
then here's this oh, that's her again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
And
that
then
might have a date on it there. I don't
Man
know.
and the Beaver.
Yeah.
Well, man likes beaver, that's for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And
And
I
he
think
trapped
that-
it. That's cool.
Yeah.
You get that? Beaver trapping is an age-old art. It played an important and early settlement of North America, and especially in our own state of Michigan. So the beaver has always been very important in Michigan, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They damage a lot of things too.
Oh, they do.
Cause a lot of problems. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
disruptive. I wonder
pretty
why.
interesting stuff here. Now, that would be my Uncle Fred Bush.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
who that is, and that's him with a beaver in a trap
Wow,
there.
yeah.
And this over here is Fred Bush, too. And I bet that
Wow,
I
right in
would
the
almost
water.
bet them pictures were probably taken in the Haymarsh, which is,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
state game area.
Yeah, it does
And
look
a lot
like
of
it,
people
doesn't it?
went there. So that was one cold job. Now, you always trapped in the spring of the year. I remember taking a lot of cold baths that you didn't plan on taking. You didn't have much soap with you either.
Right. Yeah. Right. Wow.
Hurry up, get out of here before I freeze to
Yeah.
death.
Jeez.
And here's some over here. I think you're going to find Finley Lewis. That's Finley Lewis, that just passed away. But Pat is still alive, and that would be my sister-in-law Joyce's relation.
Oh my gosh, that's Terry. He's a few years younger than I. So here it says Finley Lewis, an expert skinner, shows his son Terry. He's 10 years old at the time. Some of the fine points in the art. One slight slip of the knife could ruin any value of the pelt. The skins are later stretched and then meat frozen for later feast. Yeah, that's back when you had to save everything, didn't you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then this one here is who? Probably Finley again, eh? Maybe it doesn't look like him.
I don't know who that
Stretching the
is.
skins is an art itself, and no one can top. Fred Bush. Oh, that's Fred.
That's Fred Bush,
And here's a couple little. Oh, here's Terry Lewis again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just Gary 11 and Terry 10.
And you know, I believe one of them boys lost his life in Alaska.
Gary did. Yeah,
that's right.
I forgot about that.
They never found him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they
Up
went
there.
through a lot of heartache and pain over that, trying to find that boy. And I guess they figured he fell into a cave or something. The bears ate him up or whatever. I don't remember that.
Yeah. But
I know
Terry,
it's
that's
sad.
Terry. Yeah, he's down in Florida now.
Yeah.
He was up here this fall.
Yeah.
Had a little heart problems. I hope he's okay. Wish you well. Well, when this beaver became caught in a trap, he attacked his metal assailant with all his 60 pounds of fury. He completely wrapped up 2 traps and set for him. Wow, working to release him are Finley Lewis and Fred Bush.
Yeah.
Wow, they're tough, aren't they? The old beaver's tough.
Oh, yeah, very tough. Otter was much tougher.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Who's this here? This is a newer picture because you got Julie Tutsworth, Lover, Paul Cole, Dan Kerwin.
Yeah.
This is a newer one.
Yeah.
We got a phone call coming in. First time caller, long time listener. Go ahead, Kurt Ray. For 25 years. That's nice of them. These are all newer ones here.
Okay, but if we get to the front.
Oh, good Lord. Wait a minute. We'll go to the front, but all about health officers. Look at old blowhard Joe Bayshaw himself. God
there he
bless
is.
him. Yep.
That's the reason that's in there.
Yep. And Mary, his lovely wife, Mary, very good friends of ours.
Yep, that's their boys.
Oh, this is all about health offers. Now, that's pretty neat. I bet they didn't keep this.
Yeah.
Mary's all about health food, folks. For you guys didn't know, Mary had a business back here, and, geez, it's been a while now. There's Matt and Brad Bayshaw, Mary's a very good person. So is Joe. It's all about health, And then we have all about health. We don't care about health, drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. I like to bring the cigarette thing in, but I don't smoke anymore.
No.
But anyway, going back here, John, a little bit. You want to show us a little bit here?
Yeah, here's some pictures now. We're kind of got ahead of ourselves a little bit.
No, we didn't. That's the way we do
this
things.
With you. This is my dad over here, Fred Zimmerman. That's his mother, Mary Zimmerman, and she probably would have been about, I'm guessing, probably 85, 90 years old there. That would have been her son, Pete, which would have been my dad's brother. And up here, this would be, wasn't she a pretty lady?
Yeah,
That's
she
Marie
was.
Bush. That'd be Gloria Ann and
My
Marston's
Lord.
mother.
Wow.
This is Agnes Burns.
Yeah.
That would be
Wow.
Denny's.
Yeah.
Denny that
Oh,
I
okay,
pictured
mother.
there.
Yeah.
That would be her.
What was her maiden name, remember?
Zimmerman.
Oh, yeah,
She'd have been, all these would have been Zimmerman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They all would have been Zimmerman. This is Joe Bayshaw's grandma.
Oh, it
my
is.
aunt. That's Aunt Ann Colley.
Oh, wow.
But she was a Zimmerman, my dad's sister, lived right across their property, joined our property out here east of town. Elizabeth Cole, that's the one that had the convalescent home with her husband. And this is Mary Niemer.
Oh, Nemers were in there too, eh?
Nemers was in there, yep.
We own their building, Nemer Building on Maple Street.
Yeah, for sure, yep. And this here, well, we're kind of getting out of the Zimmermans here, but this old fellow would have been my grandpa. That would have been Martin Burns.
Oh, he looks, that's Martin Burns?
That's Martin Burns. We dropped something on the floor.
That's nothing.
But Martin Burns, they had the property. And I got to interrupt here now with some of these stories. I got to get back at Pete Jensen. Yeah. You know, Pete and I, we have coffee together quite often, and I always tell Pete stories about how we used to Dad used to take the cattle from out at the farm east of Big Rapids and take them out West Avenue and pasture the young cattle out there. And there was no water on that pasture ground where we pastured them.
Oh.
So we had the old Model A, the 30 Model A that Fred has yet today, and an old stock trailer that we'd load up with barrels and cans and buckets and I think maybe 500-600 gallons of water.
Wow.
And we used to take that out West Avenue and pull that with that Model A right up over that hill and go water the cows with it. Pretty near every night. That big steep sand hill. And that sand hill at that time was much, much steeper than it is today. But that old Model A, it'd just go out there and just chuck, and she'd just go right up over that hill. And we'd dump that water out. Next night, these old cows and cattle would come for a mile just to bellering, for getting a drink of water, But
when you dumped it out, did you have troughs there then?
No, dumped it in an old spring hole. It would go empty, and
So it was clay then.
Pardon?
Had a little clay base to it.
Oh, not much. A lot of that water.
So it was,
the cows had to be. Cows really had to be faster to get drained down in the ground.
Right. No trees.
Very few. Witch hazel, full of witch hazel, is what there was for trees. Yeah. Wow. But the cattle done pretty well with, gaining weight and stuff for the summer. So anyway, that would have been, and they lived right across the road from that. So that's how they got out to the coal pasture, because their house is still there today. And that house is still there.
Cassidy's or
no,
Cassidy?
Beyond Cassidy's,
Graham's
about a mile up from Cassidy's.
On the left
that house is still there.
Yeah.
And if we keep going here just a little bit, there's a picture of the barn raising out there, get away. Remember, that would be his wife, Teresa.
Okay.
And that had been, and this picture here, I don't know if we can turn that book a little bit, but this is their kids. This would be, I guess we got right off the Zimmerman tract into it. We got switched off into the Burns's here.
Yeah.
But this would be Martin, Grandpa Martin. That would be his wife, Teresa. And then this would be their family. And that would be, I don't know if we can flip that out of there or turn that over or whatever. It'd be interesting just so people can see the kids here, what we're talking about right here, this one. This, if you can see this, that would be their family. And that one of them would be Loretta Glazier, and that would be Tom's mother.
Oh, okay.
And then that would be Denny's and Maureen's dad. That'd be Martin Burns or Morris.
Morris, okay.
Morris Burns. And that would be Ann Doyle, and that would be Thomas Burns, and that would be my mother.
That's Ann Doyle, John Doyle's mother?
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
And they always looked like twins, Mon.
I'll be darned. You can't ask for better people than the Doyles, too.
Oh, for sure.
I know we're skipping along here.
Everybody struggled along.
Get some more of those pictures here for you.
Yeah.
Postcards. Good Lord, she's got a lot of history here.
Oh, a lot.
They don't do that anymore.
Take us forever to go through all this stuff.
Well, here's one for the body shop, guys. Arcadia Body and Fender Repairing Company, auto collision work, frame and axle straightening, welding, duco, and molecular painting. Fred Zimmerman had to pay $2.
Right.
Wow.
Here's a thing from Pines Fur Company. That was for 3 Red Fox, and it looks like they brought $165.
That's pretty good money.
It was pretty good money. Sure was.
Ain't worth
There's some old hunting license that was in 1972, and at that time you displayed them on your back.
Right.
In a back folder. Right. I don't know what this is that's underneath here, but probably.
That Pines Fur Companies, that was in
Baldwin.
In the Baldwin.
Baldwin, yeah.
I was there back years ago.
I don't know if it's still there or not.
We used to hunt coon.
Yeah.
I shot a lot of coon. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Fred Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Sergeant.
Okay. So.
We move along.
Okay.
Bruce Earlers and Richard Novak.
I think they was more relation. That was on the Niemer side, Novak's. And this, I think we've already been through, but that's Herb and them. But someplace here.
Yeah.
Where's my sticky note is over here. I got a real story to tell about one of these, some of these people here, right there.
Let me say, WBZX Big Rapids.
Yeah, say what you got to, Bobby. That's
sorry.
No, God bless.
When Trump gets in office, there won't be any more FCC, so we won't have to say that.
That one back there, where them little bitty pictures were.
The pictures?
Right here, right there.
Yeah.
How much time we got? This takes
all time in the world. It's 10
Yep.
o'clock. Top.
Go
hour.
to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah,
Okay.
This is good.
This is there's quite a story behind these two pictures. This is Adolf and Twal Janik. Janickel was their last names. And if you went out by Town Line Lake, went straight in, it's turned into a big subdivision there now. And way back years ago, I think Top Taggart put a well in over there by the road a mile over from where that goes, and it hit gas, free gas. And Adolf, they were full-blood Indians, and Adolf used to butcher, he'd kill and butcher cattle and pigs and sheep, chicken, I think just about everything for $1 a piece. He would get to do that. And anyway, he come to my dad and wanted to know if we'd plow a gas line up through there, which would have been about 3/4 of a mile. So my dad, yeah, we'll do it. So he took the old doodlebug, and I don't know where that picture of the doodlebug is, but it's a very interesting picture here someplace. If we could find it, we'll have to get to that.
While you're looking for that, I just want to thank our sponsors for sponsoring us. Go ahead. You
Go
look
ahead.
for it.
Anyways,
talk about Big Rapids Penn's Oil and Auto Repair. Zach, he sells tires down there. He's a little under the weather yesterday, but he's back at work today. A lot of people are being getting the flu and stuff right now, and we pray that you all get well. I mean, just too many of you are out there getting sick. So, anyway, Seth Wenger Insurance. We love Seth. He's in Baldwin and Big Rapids. Does a great job for your insurance needs. Gilbert's Carpet Plus. Gilbert's the big name in this town. Been around for over 100 years plus. Tom and his brother George do a great job out there south of town. So if you need any color tile or carpet or any needs of that sort of thing, get a hold of them. They have shades out there too. I think they got windows now, don't they, Bob? Selling windows? Yeah.
I know they have the window covering. So.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, DW2, Dale and Company. And then you got Jeff Garrett with landscaping, Michigan Landscape and Excavate, and Barrett Firearms. Back to you, John.
Okay. Anyway, this is a picture of the old doodlebug, and that's my dad and us 3 boys on it.
Yeah.
And that's what we had for, after horses. Well, we still had 1 horse, but had that. But anyway, that's
like
not a
the
really
Clampets.
good picture, but that was
Oh, that's great.
That
Who are
was-
these guys?
that's my brother Fred and Charles and myself.
Oh, my. You're
on
right
that.
here then?
Probably, yeah, that's me.
Where's your seat belt?
Yeah, seat belts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was the tractor? That's what I'd say.
Look at those
But
chains on
yeah,
that.
chains on that. But
I
anyway,
know, yeah.
Dad took this old bug. We always called it the bug, and a lot of people probably don't even know what the heck I'm talking about here about a doodle bug. But there wasn't a lot of tractors. Second World War was just over with, and there wasn't a lot of good stuff. But anyway, Dad took this old doodle bug and went over and plowed a ditch. I don't know, some of it you just kicked a little bit of sand over to cover the pipe up with your feet. It didn't get too deep.
Right.
It was just sand. But anyway, we gets all done, and I always remember standing out in the yard with these old folks here.
Yeah,
And
you do?
Adolf said, well, how much, Fritz? He always called him Fritz. How much is it going to be, Fritz? And of course, Dad, he kind of him-hobbed around. He didn't want to charge anything. And well, I got to pay you something. Pretty soon my dad says, well, how about $6? And okay, I'll pay you $6. So the old house had a stone basement in it. And of course I could hear really well at that time. And anyway, you could hear all these rocks and cans and stuff moving around down in this old basement. And a long period of time went by. Pretty soon he come out and he paid my dad with 600 pennies.
Oh, my Lord.
And he poured them into his pockets of an old pair of coveralls, and it turned him into like the Tin Man. He couldn't even hardly walk with all these pennies.
Wow.
But anyway, on the way going home on the old bug, you couldn't hear too well, but we got home, and of course he dumped all these pennies out on the old pump house. There's a flat roof there, and my mother, well, you crazy old fool, was a little different than that,
Oh, yeah,
but
what'd she
anyway,
say?
keep good language in
remember
here.
her well.
Anyway, how come he didn't charge you more than that? Well, he don't have any money. And I'm thinking, Dad, I wonder if you're right or wrong, $1 a piece, for
Right.
butchering all this stuff. And a short period of time went by, and he took ill with something and went to a hospital in Stanwood. And I remember we drove down there to see him, and kids couldn't get in at that time, but I remember going in there, and Dad come back out, and then he was right beside himself. He says that old Adolf, they took a money belt off of him, and he had $30,000 in it.
Oh my Lord! And
I won't mention who ended up with that place.
Well, go ahead. We want to hear it. There's only a few listeners. We only have 3. Bayshaw and Shibley and...
Well, there was an undertaker in town, and he did help a lot of people out. I personally thought he was a very good guy.
Yeah, right.
But he buried Adolf in Twall. I remember going to the funerals in a little box like... what was that old movie about the cattle drive? Where they buried that guy in a little box that shaped your body.
Yeah. Rawhide?
No.
Bob, come on, you're old enough to Wagon Train.
No.
The movie True Grit? No,
it was a cattle drive. But anyway, that's what they got buried in that little box.
Wait a minute. Do we have any old folks out there that know what the cattle drive movie was?
Take a minute.
Gosh.
All right, Jen will be on the phone here, so we got to start thinking about.
I can't think what it was, but anyway, he ended up with that place.
Yeah.
And now that's a big subdivision all around that old pond.
Yeah.
But anyways,
the undertaker did.
Yeah.
Ended up with all that land out there.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, for burying him.
Yeah.
Where'd the money go?
I don't know.
Well,
but there was a lot of money.
John, you're a historian.
There was a lot of. I can tell you, he had a lot of money in that old house.
Wow.
But they never had a car. They just horse and buggy.
Yeah.
And back in them days, that's what life was all about, was butchering, and that meat would go up here. Eats the butcher out there on the Ryan Creek.
Yeah.
Which would be north of Chuck and Murdy's.
Right.
And that meat would all at that time, I think, went into Mondrella's Meat Market, which was right in Big Rapids.
Yeah.
Right next to the bar there. What's that bar in town?
Bar, yeah.
Shooter's Bar. Yeah, there you go.
Used to be Parker's.
Yeah.
Food or grocery or.
So anyway, history, good old history. So.
How about the Hatchews? Are they related to you?
No, Hatchews was not related.
A whole different group. They're like the Clanton brothers.
Well, no,
they're related to the Olsons.
Yeah, Phil married an Olson. Yeah. And
none of your family married a Olson or a Hatchew?
No, we're not connected that I can remember. But talking about Hatchews, I remember Phil. They had a pretty big family too, and he was a good body man.
I didn't know Phil had a big family. I knew Ann, his sister, real well. She
Annie Hatchew. Yeah.
And then who else did he have then?
Well, his kids. He had a lot of kids. He had Danny and.
Yeah.
I don't know all his kids. And, but see, Annie Hatchew at one time ended up with my grandma and grandpa's place out on West Avenue.
Really?
Yeah. She had that for a while.
Help me out. Which place?
Well, that had been out West Avenue, beyond Cassidy's, up in there. What I was
oh my Lord! Really, way up in there?
Yeah, she had that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. She was quite a horseman.
She was.
Horsewoman.
Horse girl. Yeah.
I liked her.
Yeah.
I bought my first standardbred from her.
Yeah. And then
Hatchews and I have a lot of history. Phil helped me a lot in business. Not with money, but gave me a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
He used to give me radiators for nothing.
Right.
Just so I could start up my business, and I'll never forget that.
I remember the first car that he ever put in that place and was going to junk it out, and I ended up buying an engine out of it, a 1954 Ford. And that's what he started out with. And figured out he could make some money, and I don't know, talk about a picture. I've seen an aerial photo of that. That is one big yard of stuff.
Yeah.
Good people, very good people.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I remember I bought a lot of stuff from him back in the day, and he always treated me good. And the boys are traditional.
Oh,
good.
There. Very good.
Dan, his son Dan, very proud of him. He's a very good dad.
Oh, yeah.
Always a good athlete, giving him a shot there at the high school playing baseball and what have you. But, yeah, I know Big Dan.
Yeah, all good people.
Yeah.
Rex is there, and young Dan is in there now, and talk about old
Rex
school.
is probably one of the friendliest guys you'll
Oh, yeah.
I love them all.
Rex and, just about all of them will let you know what's on their mind.
Yeah.
But they mean well. They mean very well.
Yeah.
Good.
Hard workers, man. man. They're Americans.
Hard workers.
Their dad
hard workers.
wasn't the poorest guy in the world, but he deserved everything he got.
Yeah.
Here's some buck pole here.
Yeah.
And then who would this be here?
That.
And where is that at? What garage
That,
is
I'm
that?
telling you, is, there's a little road that goes into Town Line Lake off the east side. And there was a guy by the name of Jack and Jack Morrison. I can't remember his wife's name right now. Don't come to me. Jack and Ann Morrison. And that was beside their garage. And there was some bucks on there, but there's some very interesting.
That's a block garage. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's some real interesting ones.
That's how they put hay up.
Loose hay. That's how we put it up
that's a
for
nice
years.
tractor.
That's the old 40. I think that's a 47A John Deere is what that is.
Yeah.
And we'll get into some.
Now look at that. They're having a little fun there. I didn't know they did that back then.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow. Yeah, she's a pretty happy girl.
Somewhere.
What's this here? Horse.
That's horseshoes.
Who's that?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, that's a good name.
I haven't had time to read that one over.
That's fine. Yeah.
This is some pictures of my dad. I think that's probably Dad and Fred Bush.
But that's out the Zimmerman farm, huh?
No, I think that is out at the Burns farm.
Well, that's what I meant, Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's this here driving school bus back in the
That's
day?
my dad. Now we got another story we can talk about my dad. I've wanted to bring this up before.
Go right ahead.
Okay. My dad used to drive school bus along with working the farm and doing mechanic work. And the school buses at that time were red and white. And Dad had a really long bus route. He used to go out here west of town and it'd go out around and go up into Grant Center. And where I'm headed to with this story, I could drive that bus route yet today. I used to ride on a heater with my dad before I ever went to school. Because the house was like a mortuary. It'd freeze to death in it, so Ma'd send me with that, and then Ma'd do the chores. But anyway, used to go over, and there was a wooden bridge went across at Chippewa Lake. And Dad used to take that bus right across that wooden bridge. Was poles and planking, and these old boards would flippity flop and flop around, but the bridge would kind of just sag right in, and the water would come up on top, and he'd take that bus across there day after day. Wintertime it'd freeze, and then it'd be pretty solid. But a lot of people probably don't know about that wooden bridge that went across
Would that
Chippewa Lake.
be on the southwest side?
It would be on the northwest corner. And I think
by Hans?
By Hans.
Okay.
I'm crossing there, and I think there may be some remains of that still in there left.
Wow.
Wood, when you get it in the water, air don't get to it, and it, preserves it for a long time.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and this here would be Grandpa Ed Zimmerman stacking wood there, and of course that's a new house at home, and. What else we're going to get to here?
Here's a good one, Joe Colley.
Joe Colley, that's right. See, that'd have been my dad's sister, Ann Colley. That'd have been their son. And let's talk about some other stuff. About living off the land. I don't know what you can tell about that pike, but that come out of Town Line Lake.
Wow.
I'm sure, or maybe Pickerel Lake, but that probably was about a 22 pound pike. But my dad, I used to go with him all the time. We'd go over and he'd never go crazy with it, but he'd spear like 2 or 3 pike, and then he'd lock up the old shanty and come home.
Wow.
And that's what we'd have for dinner a lot of times.
Wow.
So, I don't know. Oh, this is some interesting pictures right here. That's some of the first year Fred and I ever went into Canada moose hunting. You've always questioned us about hunting and stuff, and that's one of the first years we ever
Get a
went
picture
there.
of that, Marianne?
Pardon that?
I want Marianne to focus on that.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Fred?
That is me.
That's you.
Skinny little dude.
Well, you're younger, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Is that Fred?
Yeah, Fred, yeah.
Get on your mic, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on my mic. Yeah, sorry.
That's
Fred.
my dad.
That's your dad. Boy, that's a big deer.
It's a moose.
I know it is. I like to be a little joking around a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm funny in my own mind.
That's all right. Yeah.
Freddie, Chuck, and John right there.
Yeah.
That's the old homestead where Calvin lives now.
Oh, homestead. Yeah, and that's where Calvin's at today.
Wow, yeah, it's kind of nice.
It's a good thing I brought these pictures in.
Yeah. Oh, God, there's Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
see
Fred.
Chuck.
They used to do a lot of fox hunting.
I have a lot of great memories about everybody that I've ever met, and there's always one memorable meetings that I have with people. And Chuck, the one I'll never forget about him, if that's what you want to say, is every Friday, him and Joyce would come in with that Dodge pickup. He had that Dodge for a long, long time.
Still in the family.
Chick's got it down here, no?
No, it's
Clint. Clint's got it.
Well, Clint did have it. Now Clint's give it to Bill Stradoff's son, Karsten. Karsten has it.
I'll be darned. Well, anyway, Chuck worked for the county, the road commissioner for many years, and him and Joyce come in every Friday night, and before he said a word, he'd go over, and I'd always give him a bag of popcorn. I made popcorn Fridays.
Yeah.
And he loved his popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
That's my story on Chuck. God bless him. He was
yeah.
But he
we
liked
had
his popcorn.
We had some great times together.
Oh, we had some great conversation. You know, you guys definitely were the last of the frontier. I know we have a lot of great hunters, but you guys did it without all this scientific stuff, and you didn't bait back then. You had to go out and shuffle those deer out of the woods. Today we have bait piles. And we're not supposed to, I know, but they do.
No. We would.
I know
Listen to 2 shows, Pat.
Oh, love you.
2 shows.
Yeah.
Now we're going to midnight tonight. Let's go. This is chapter 1. He's got a box out in the truck.
2 shows, Pat.
Yeah, that's right. We could make 2 shows out of this. We could have you back.
We could have a series.
Yeah, she's got to
go
make
for
a
a month
living
or
here.
two.
Yeah, God bless her. She reminds me of Pete Kent, always interrupting. But listen, folks. All right, we're going to stop right now then.
That's all right.
But let's dovetail on one little thing here. Now, if this got you interested, this coming Saturday is Mecosta County Geological Society. And they're going to have the 18th annual Home for the Holidays open house this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's at 424 North 4th Street. They're going to have all these books out.
Yeah,
so
great.
if you want to go explore these books, that's the time.
And that's over there by Recycle, right?
Right, you got it.
Yeah,
Genealogical. So I said geological.
Yeah.
Genealogical Society, and that's going to be this Saturday. So I know that Maureen Nelson, who runs that, would love everybody to come over.
Which is a relative of John's.
Yeah, so
she's the Doyle clan.
Yep. So if you want to do that, that's going to be this coming weekend.
All right. Well, listen, I know we don't get to play songs, but be humble and
kind.
I
got to get to Kyle here.
I know. I'm just saying, though, be humble and kind, folks.
There you
That's
go.
a good song. Listen to the words. There's so many good words out there.
Yeah.
Don Williams, I want you to listen to Lord, I hope this day is good.
Yeah.
God bless you, Bob. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, everybody out there in wonderful America. God bless the world.
Curries Corner.
Brought to you by Big Rapids Pennzoil and Auto Repair.